Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. It's just gone 9. Yes, we know we're late. So it can only be Coffee Kickstarter. And we're, of course, the Property Angels. Now, the Property Angels was founded by a former solicitor, an accountant, and a police detective who saw the need to professionalise the industry. Using their knowledge, experience, and proven track record, they endeavour to guide and support those new to property, providing practical knowledge, skills, and the tool set to enable them to thrive and achieve their potential in a more safe manner. Anyway, you can see we've got a lovely guest with us today, but more about that in a minute. First, we'd like to briefly introduce ourselves. So if I could go first, and then I'll hand over to Sarah. So I'm Karen Stanbridge, and I was the one that used to be an accountant before I saw the light, and I escaped that, moving into project and program management and strategic business consulting. I exited that corporate land in May 2015, but taking with me the skills I'd learned. I started to build a property business from solid foundations, creating sustainable wealth both for now and for the future. And using those skills, I help other property professionals craft strategic plans to underpin their business. So Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Morning, guys. Thanks for joining us today. I'm in my car today for various reasons, which I won't bore you with. But yeah, thanks for joining us. My name's Sarah Smith. For those of you who don't know me, I bought my first property in 2004 to live in, not as an investment. And every 2 years I moved, keeping the property before. And I did that 4 times before I realised property was something that I should probably pay a bit more attention to, which I did. And I started buying HMOs in about 2012. Oh, a bit of interference there. And carried on buying HMOs exclusively for the next, say, 7 years probably. And as Karen mentioned, I used to be a solicitor, and when I was making more money from property than from my job as a solicitor, I went full-time property and quit my job as a solicitor in London. So since then, I've just been building my portfolio slowly and steadily, done various strategies, but now just sticking to single lets. And I do have HMOs, but I am just focusing on single lets now. Very simple buy, refurb, refinance model. So that's me really. I host Partners in Property as well with these 2 lovely ladies.
Hi, I'm Sam Beddoe. I'm the one who was the police detective. I've got a couple of property companies. One is in serviced accommodation, which has its ups and downs. And my primary focus is my development company, which is Revive Holdings. I've had experience in quite a variety of property models in the 5 years, 6 years that I've been full-time in property. For example, buy-to-lets, HMO, rent-to-rent, title splits, auctions, commercial conversions, refurbs, working with SaaS pension funds, working with private investors. So a bit of a variety there. And as a result, my main focus is development. That's what I prefer out of all of those models. And I'm purchasing a couple of properties at the moment for development. So it'll be interesting to see how they go over the next few months. So that's a little bit about me. And we've got our special guest here, Mark Smith. Mark, we did a bit of an intro on Facebook about you, but just tell us a little bit about you, how long you've been in property and what's your main focus in property. And then what we'll do is we're doing something a little bit different today, aren't we? We did a bit of a road trip yesterday on a few of your properties, and we're going to intertwine the videos of that in between chatting with you. But firstly, tell us a little bit about you and how long you've been doing property and what are your main focuses.
Okay, thank you, Karen, Sarah and Sam, for inviting me. I appreciate the opportunity to come and be silly for an hour and get out the run of the mill stuff. So thanks for inviting me. So how long have I been in property? Well, I'm 56, so I must have been living in property 56 years. So that's a good experience we can sell, isn't it? I've been in developing, owning property from an investment point of view for 25 years. It's my 25th year this year. Where'd it go? Single lets only now, and commercial and development and flips and whoa. But generally we own about 100 properties split 70 resi, 30 commercial. Plus, as you'll see on some of the videos, we do some JVs with people. We have some developments in Portsmouth and Leigh Park ongoing. We mentioned yesterday with Sam about leverage and leverage of my finances at the moment. Leverage of my time is very important. So the day-to-day stuff is nice. But I do enjoy stepping out of the box, thinking differently, and helping others really. So, and later on we will mention 3 little letters, HPN later. But yeah, so I'm very pleased to be here. So my background is 25 years, lots of experience.
Brilliant. Okay, so I think what we'll do is we'll start with the first video. We'll let that run because we're talking through that video, and then after that we'll talk around that video and ask some questions.
Fine.
Is it going to be okay with you?
Yeah.
Lovely. This is the joy of doing it live.
Good.
If we can't make the videos work, we remember what we did, Mark, and we can talk through it. But let's see if we can make the tech work.
I will say, if we don't get sound, we can just dub over it, can't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going for this very large white door. It's made for disabled wheelchairs, but a wheelchair's never been through it. Look at that nice grey carpet. I'm walking through now. Mark, are you asleep in your office? Wake up.
The sound is dubbed, so talk away.
Okay. Mark, where are you?
Oh,
Wake
okay.
up.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not
So
in
I
his
was coming
office.
into your office to meet you.
Yeah.
And we were going to talk over the map about where we were going. So what shame that
XPN. So brilliant what we're doing, are we?
So tell me what we're up to today then.
Brilliant.
So this is
You nearly had it, Karen.
yeah.
That's it. Move it right. Move that arrow right, Karen. A nice walk-in safe here that I keep all my money. Well, actually, no money in there, just keys for properties. Today, though, Sam, if we can just come in on here.
Yeah.
This is where we are at the moment,
Okay.
on Northern Road. That red dot means my current property. That's where we're going to end up today. But we're going to drive into Portsmouth. This is the main centre of Portsmouth.
Yeah.
We're going to start in New Road here. I have a few properties in New Road and off of New Road. I'm going to show you just the outside and a short video inside of a new project that we're doing there,
okay.
a JV project.
Mhm.
We're then going to head up to Kensington Road on a corner here. One of my big whys, actually, and that's a property we're doing for my parents, working on and adapting. Then we're visiting a flip we're doing in Fearon Road, just here.
Yep.
We've got a very special guest we're visiting at the bottom of Stubbington Avenue.
Brilliant.
So we're going to say hello to a person that is known to PIP, HPN, etc., and Property Angels, just here. And then we come all the way back and we're looking at our garden development for the Havant Road in Cosham. So you want me to do this in 1 hour? Hopefully we'll just visit those properties, do 5 minutes at each property, and then questions during the 1 hour of live Property Angels on Thursday, 9 till 10.
So whistle stop tour.
Brilliant.
Okay. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Go. I can't.
Okay, Mark. We're on our first tour. Here we go. Lovely building. I'm just going to pan up.
Yep.
So we can see right to the top there. Looks like there's a bit of a overhang there. So tell us about this property.
So this is very new. It's going through legals at the moment. We've not exchanged. Hopefully we'll exchange in the next 2 weeks. Fire damage on this flat, as you'll see for a short video that we've already done. So there's fire damage there. Has been used as 2 flats for about 8 to 9 years. There's 2 EPCs that were created 8 or 9 years ago. Separate EPCs. There's separate electric for the upstairs and downstairs. So there are separate utilities already there.
Yeah.
We hope to turn it into 2 flats professionally. There is next door neighbour, one has been turned into 2 flats, and the next door neighbour, the size is very good to turn into 2 flats.
Yeah.
I'm doing this as a JV with a builder friend of mine. I will fund the purchase, he will do the work, and we'll see how it goes really. What I will do in about 2 or 3 months' time, give you a quick more update, and you can compare the original video with the new video.
Okay. And why are you doing it with a JV partner, Mark?
JV to me is leverage of my time. I wouldn't want to be supervising this job. I trust the builder that I'm JVing with. He will fund all the work. We will split the profit. It's just a lot. It's best utilising my time and finances, and I've got a good builder relationship here on this one.
Okay, fine. So you've obviously done the numbers, and there's a good uplift enough that it's going to be worthwhile you doing it and the JV partner doing it. Yeah.
Without necessarily going into too many figures, because it's still a bit raw.
Sure.
People have said, "How have I got this so cheap?" And perhaps it could have gained more at auction if they sold at auction. Good relationship with the estate agent, and put the offer in. They know I'm good for it, so they trust me to complete within a number of weeks. And yeah, so there are reasons why you can do the deal correctly.
Okay, you've obviously built a very strong relationship over a number of years with that agent.
The agent.
And that's added.
I've got a couple of agents in Portsmouth, and they say I'm top of their list to call, and they'll call me, and they know I'm ready for another one if I want. In a minute, when we visit the next property in Kensington Road and the next one in Fearing Road, and when we visit a property in Stumpton Avenue, you'll see that I'm fairly busy on these sort of projects.
Yeah.
So
you're number one in their black book, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it can be a pain, because you don't want to let them down, and you want to pass deals on, but you've got to trust that you've got to have a good relationship with someone to pass the deal on. And actually, someone passed me on Fearing Road that didn't want to do it. So actually, that's with the same agent, but they were looking at it and they said, "Mark, you can have this if you want it." So it's relationships. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's go to the next one.
Brilliant.
Okay, should we stop there, Karen?
See now.
We pause it there.
This one.
So this is our next property.
Okay. So Mark, going back to that fire damaged building then.
Okay.
You said you had a relationship with the agent. What advice can you give to other people, maybe who are sort of starting out or wanting to improve their relationships with agents? What should they be doing to build that so that they are at the forefront of the mind of the agents?
Okay, trust on most things in life, relationships, business, work colleagues, but even estate agents. So relationships and trust. They need to trust you're going to turn up first and foremost. They need to trust if you're going to carry through to the purchase. I will say as well, though, they know me of old. So I have, 25 years long in the tooth now. So most of them have heard of me, even if they've not met me before. They'll often say, "Oh, I've heard of you." And sometimes I'm embarrassed because I think, "God, I have this reputation of just I don't know, being a bit blunt, really, but a wealth of experience." So sometimes people have heard of me before I've met them, and that's a bit daunting for me. So relationships, evidence of funds, definitely being good on a deal. Also, what's in it for them? A quick sale, yeah. But also, do they want to sell another one, or will they sell? If I'm doing a flip, will they sell that flip for me at the right price later on? So trying to build that relationship, and so trust to resell it with them as well. So reasons why they would offer you first options, and it has to be a valid option, obviously, and a fair price.
Okay. And do you have specific criteria with the agents that they think that's one that Mark would buy? Or I'm sure some people go in there and they just go, "I want anything I can make money from." Well, that's a little bit wild.
I think the two agents that will call me will say, "This is really challenging. Let's speak to Mark and see what he thinks." And so I don't really want run-of-the-mill doer-uppers spend 10k, make 10 or 20k. I'm not looking at pulling my money out at the moment, so I'm not looking at refinancing. I think I want those that are a bit more challenging. Probably builders want that will put their own crew in to do. But then I also have to think differently. I'm not a builder. I might be a bit of a developer with my teams, but ultimately, I think the estate agents. I mean, going back to New Road there. They phoned me because they didn't even want to step inside it. And they thought, who can we call to step inside this one, have a look? And I know we have got a small video of the fire damage, and it is a bit daunting. There are soiled mattresses in there, soiled carpets. It is, but you have to learn to look beyond your immediate effects of, the personal effects that are going to be gone before we even complete.
Yeah. Okay. And you said you're doing that as a JV with a builder.
Yeah.
Do you JV with people very often?
over the last 10 years, so only started JVing over the last 10 years, and sometimes it could be a money lend, and that to me is not JV. So if I've lent somebody some money, secured on a deal, I'll have the first charge, but that's not a JV. Sometimes though, with that, I've also taken some property as well as part of it. JVs with builders though can work very well, but you have to build up, again, without saying the word trust, you have to build up the trust and the relationship, and then you can relax a bit. So if the first one's worked, we always talk about cookie cutting, and you repeat it really. But there is always a word of caution, and I'm pleased to say I've done a previous one very similar to that in the last 6 months. It's worked very well. So why not do it again?
It's freed up your time. You can just leave him to get on with it, and sharing
I
sense.
wouldn't want to do this project with my own people I use. They would want me there. And as you saw yesterday, Sam, when we went in the property that's behind that we see at the moment, the Kensington Road property, there were 8 people in there, and they all wanted a piece of me to ask me silly things. Whereas New Road, I'll just go in there, speak to the main JV builder, and we'll have a laugh and a chat, and it will progress. So there are different sort of structures to how you run your business, really.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you. Ladies, you got any questions on that before we move on?
No, it's really interesting listening in and watching the journey.
Okay, Karen, can you start the video on this one?
I can.
Okay, Mark, so we're at the new property now. Tell us a little bit more about this one.
So this is our next property on our tour of 4 or 5 today. This property is a bit different, and anybody that attended HBN last year may have heard my talk about numbers. And one of my goals in the next 12 months was to get a property for my parents. Yep. My parents are currently living in a 2 up, 2 down, outside bathroom, rear bathroom to property. Mobility issues, they're both in their 80s. This one is adaptable. It's got somewhere to park the mobility scooter in the garage. So parking in Portsmouth is at a premium. This fitted all the criteria really. When my mum and dad have been around 2 or 3 times, they love the property, they can see the adaptation. So should we have a wander over?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Watch you don't fall over, Sam.
Okay.
And you'll see what we're working on. Some builders may be half naked, so we'll try and blank those out.
We'll fuzz those out.
Watch you don't fall. So garage parking, initially most builders will use it as a store. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, handy. Little courtyard here. I'll pan it round so we can see.
We are going to divide the garage up, put patio doors there, and create a garden room. We're still going to have some garage space for mobility scooter, but straight in then. So we'll put patio doors there.
Okay.
We come through then to what was the kitchen diner. We have a downstairs WC here.
And where did you find this property?
This was on an auction site. It wasn't being sold at auction, but it was being sold by an auctioneer company in Portsmouth.
Right.
Again, I'm top of their list. Well, they knew what I was looking for, and I'm pleased we've got the deal through with them. We will consider selling our property with them. We have a good relationship with that auction house in Portsmouth. Okay. Here we had an open plan dining kitchen. Parents want doors on, want a nice fitted kitchen, and want a separate dining sitting area. Mm-hmm. With this area here, we had a very large utility area, but due to us wanting to build an ensuite downstairs, we've made that quite a bit smaller.
What's the thinking behind the ensuite downstairs?
The reason there's an ensuite is because my dad struggles with stairs at the moment. So going up and down stairs, the risk of falling downstairs, the risk of falling over thresholds is quite challenging. So here we've condensed this is all stud work. We've condensed what was the utility room, and now we're going to be fitting an ensuite in here and making a downstairs bedroom. So work in progress, as we say, as we breathe in the dust.
Yeah, it's very dusty.
This room was a lounge diner. We've knocked through a stud area. We're going through. We film this way.
We've got lots of people busy working in here today.
I think there's 7 people on site here. Some elderly people and some young people. The young people are doing not as much as work as the older people. So this is going to be the main lounge. As you saw, there's going to be a kitchen lounge, which I'm sure my dad will sit out, but this will be my mum's lounge, and there's 2 lounges, 1 bedroom downstairs with an ensuite, separate WC downstairs. There is still 3 bedrooms upstairs. 2 of them will be mothballed. My mum is only going to use 1 of them with the bathroom upstairs. We have a quick look upstairs.
Okay.
Sam can, you can do it.
Right, we're up.
That's got to be a video. Sorry.
It's one of the hard-working team. Give us a smile. You're embarrassed now.
We put them up chimneys when they're 8 years old, and this is what they result in.
Okay, so can you keep this as a bathroom?
This is down the bathroom. There was a large shower here, but now we go down the shower room downstairs.
So you put a bathtub back
We're
here?
going to put a bath. My mum wants a bath. My dad wants a shower. So yeah, let's go back to a bathroom rather than just a shower room. 3 bedrooms.
So we're planning ahead with your father then.
Yes.
He might need to live downstairs.
He will be downstairs.
Okay.
New doors throughout up here because there were the old panel doors that had paneling on, but the builder before would actually chisel out and ruin them. So we are putting new doors on, painting throughout, and the plaster is due in probably next few days to plaster certain rooms. This property had some good, it's got good electrics, good double glazing, good roof, relatively good central heating. So really it's just about adaptation. We're not doing much structural work here at all. Unique doors, a light-ish refurb.
Yeah.
The annoying one with this, as a personal, we got 3 bedrooms. 2 were grey, 1 was pink. My mum wants a pink bedroom. She didn't want the one that was pink, she wanted the one that was grey. So we painted this one now pink, and the one that was pink, we painted grey. So this is project 2, ongoing, of the 4 we're going to visit, 4 or 5 we're going to visit. So should we go to the next one?
Yeah, why not?
Thanks, Karen. So, Mark, this is one that you're doing for your parents who are starting to be less mobile, and
That's
you're
correct.
future-proofing it for them, planning ahead. But it's still going to be a property that could easily still be used as a family home with young children and that in the future. You know,
Yes, so
they
there was a
want
number
to-
of reasons. Can you see me okay? Because I can't see myself.
Yes, yeah.
I'm still central. You can't see up my nose anymore.
No, it's okay.
So this property, again, we purchased at the right price, a good price. With off-road parking in the garage, that will always be in high demand in the Portsmouth area. We're making it adaptable for my parents. My mum is 83, my dad is 81 next month. So with an upstairs bathroom, downstairs shower room, mobility issues. My dad fell out. Currently, they're on a flat-fronted house, no forecourt. My dad fell out the front door about a month, 6 weeks ago. Nobody went past and picked him up, and my mum couldn't hear him because she's practically deaf in the second room back. So I mean, what I've said here, if I get you a house with a forecourt, at least if you fall out the front door, you're not in anyone's way. So that will work, you know. But yeah, so mobility scooter, it will be when it's fitted. When we finish this in 3 or 4 weeks, they'll take 2 or 3 months moving, and then through the auction house, we'll look at selling their existing property. That will repay some of the funds. Some of the funds have gone into that property.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, and they're happy. They're part of the process. They're choosing the colours, choosing the kitchen.
Yeah, choosing the colours, carpets, kitchen. I mean, the thing is, a couple of people have said, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? Perhaps I didn't have the free funds or the inclination to do it 10 years ago. But then they didn't have mobility issues 10 years ago. Now I can afford to do it, so we should do it really. And you know, whether it's for the next 5 or 10 years, the house is going to be fine. So we have to just give back, really.
And that's what your property business has enabled you to do, is create that legacy and to help your family. So helping your family as in your parents, but I know that you also help your children as well.
Yes, it is important because this is one of my whys. You know, why most of us could live below our existing means. So you've got to say, why do we want to earn so much money? Money shouldn't be the main goal in it. What are you going to use that money for? And you know, helping people on the ladder, etc., giving back is very important to me.
And also for you, it's about travel as well, isn't it? It enables you to have a lot of travel opportunities.
Yes. Depends on how our time's running. When I give out my 10 tips, I will mention travel in one of those top 10 tips, if I may.
Yeah, Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go to the next video then.
Good.
So this is not your property. This is the person we were going to see. Unfortunately, she had to rush off and deal with some other property matters. And it was Kira Lee, and she's somebody we all know really well. So she's a member of Partners in Property. She's been interviewed on Property Angels, and she's also a member of HPN Hampshire Property Network. She's doing really well in Portsmouth. She's got a number of HMOs that she controls and manages. She's got a number of single let properties. She's very, very active in Portsmouth. I think she's on your tail, to be honest, Mark.
Brilliant. I love it. I tell you what, and we talk about what motivates you, and we'll talk about your why later on. We mentioned my parents and family, but I do enjoy, and as we get older, we should help someone else up. Now, so whoever we help, I like seeing people achieve. I get a buzz out of that, so I get my own motivation of someone. And the figures on this when we play the video, Kira's doing amazing, and long may it continue.
Yeah, so let's play the video and hear about Kira's latest deal.
A friend of ours, isn't it? Tell us a little bit more about this.
So we had planned to meet Kira here early today. Unfortunately, me talking to the 7 workers round at the last property delayed me, talking all sorts of windows and sewage and kitchens. So unfortunately, we've missed Kira. I've just chatted to her. This deal here, she's purchased the top flat.
Yeah.
And she plans to reconfigure. She's got permission from the freeholder. We've just chatted about the icing on the cake of reconfiguring. We've now talked about the cherry on the cake. And if we look at the rear here, there's a communal garden. And Kira's got the right idea anyway. And I've just thrown not another option in the mix. So there's a nice garden that's unloved there. And of course, Kira's done the right thing by speaking to the manager about taking and splitting that up into 3 gardens.
Let's have a look, shall we? Okay, so I think from the conversation we had with her, she said it's a property that she's going to reconfigure.
Reconfigure upstairs,
she's going to make it a 2-bed.
Yeah, pull as much money out as possible. Not always easy to pull all your money out. She's looking though to leave some money in the deal, but still get over 33% return of their investment, which is a great, in this day and age, to get your money out within 3 years. I also mentioned about asset value. She's managing her debt. She's adding value to that deal. So this, to me, Kira, a young person on their property journey is great. And this is what gives me inspiration. People say, why do I get involved at HPN? I get a buzz out of other people succeeding. I also suggested, though, that if that garden doesn't split up comfortably to 3, that she turns it into a communal garden with a fence there and a gate there for only use by the 3 occupants. And then it will make a lovely garden with a water feature, possibly get some volunteers in to manage it, the local church or the local OAP's club. And then with a little pond in there and other things, she could have a wonderful use of outside space. And that would make adding value up there as well.
Okay. So with a 33% return, she's getting all her money out in 3 years anyway.
Yeah, we talk about gross, we talk about net, but to me, it's a great deal. Yeah. And it's in between where we've been at Kensington, where we're going to Fearon. So I just want to nip by and say hi to Kira. But hi, Kira, but let's get an update next time, all right?
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Including Kira's.
Yeah, let's go on to this one then.
Yeah.
Okay, Mark, we're on property number
4. If we include Kira's, and then we're going to go up to the garden site finally.
Okay, so I'm just going to pan up to see the whole property. So it's a whole house, yeah? Yeah,
we'll let this chap walk past.
How many bedrooms?
This is a 3-bedroomed, mid-terrace house, centre of Portsmouth, large rooms, wiring was good. Does need central heating, windows were good, roof had been recently done in the last 5 years. Some great features that we'll see in here. So this is actually a flip for a family friend that I'm doing in conjunction with a family friend, overseeing it. And yeah, let's have a look inside. Watch the builders. They may be half naked, but hey ho, life's short.
It's a hot day. Okay, this is going to be flipped back out in auction, or
probably through the estate agent. Yeah. Probably the same estate agent that actually gave it to us. Okay. Sorry, they didn't give it to us. We bought it. We were the best offer of 6 or 7 builders, so we have a good relationship with that estate agent. won't say who. So yeah, we will sell it back through them, and they'll feed us the next one through probably if we want it. We don't know, do we?
Okay, I'm just going to show some of the features while you're talking.
Yeah, features here. So it was double glazed, which is all nice. So I must get our window guider do one of the panels. Glance at the doors there. Sam.
Nice big skirtings, lovely roses.
These doors in the 70s, the people would have just panelled these over.
Yeah.
We've revealed the doors upstairs. That panel come off.
Nice.
And also, if we look here,
So it's all going to get plastered everywhere.
we'll see the plaster. This was all panelled in. Currently, that newel post is still panelled in. That'll be revealed, and you'll see a nice existing 100-year-old newel post there.
Keep all the nice features. Okay, what's going on in here?
This is the old kitchen, and I think there was just one unit when we got this. We obviously, in the old days, they'd have had a fireplace burner for the oven there. We've taken the fireplace oven there, and also out the bedroom above us, just to give us a bit more room.
Yeah.
We intend opening this out slightly, not too much, to extend the kitchen into this utility area, and then it goes through to a back door. So the kitchen's going to be extended.
So open it up, and we've got quite a nice bit of light coming in here to make it light and airy. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some scaffolding that makes it a bit dark up there at the moment.
Okay.
Here we're going to fit a WC with a
Macerator.
macerator, I'll say sanitizer, macerator. We've got a cupboard there, we're going to go back in. So we'll fit a WC there.
So toilet under the stairs.
Yeah, just for convenience really. Convenience, that's quite a good one. What's now's on? Let's go in. I've done a health and safety risk assessment before we come in here. Work in progress, people, work in progress.
It's a bit of a storeroom. Okay,
Yeah.
what's out in the garden?
So garden, if you walk out to the garden, this is a typical mid-terrace garden property.
Courtyard almost.
Come back there, Sam.
Let's have a look at the rear of the property. So we've got a little bit of work to do in the garden.
We've already taken out off the soffit fascias guttering, and they're on the floor to the materials to brand new gutter that and to refascia that. It's about £150 there, and that's all guttering, all fascias. The scaffolding, about £350 to put the scaffolding up at the back of the property. We had to put the scaffolding up to paint anyway,
Yeah.
so it's going to look a lot better when it's all up there and brand new.
So it looks like you've got an outside loo there. Is that staying or going?
No, that outside loo would go. Rather than have an outside loo, we're going to do the internal loo, and that will make that conservatory garden room a lot bigger.
Lovely. Okay.
Do you ever wonder?
Yeah, right, we're back on. We're upstairs.
So upstairs at Fearing Road, and there was no central heating in it.
Nice
So we
plastered.
plastered. We used to have an electric boiler there, electric boiler pump to heat around. We've got a brand new combi in there. We'll keep the cupboard just so the combi's hidden.
Yeah.
You can see it's new radiators being done.
I think you said there was a chimney here, but you brought it all up.
No, we kept the chimney. There might have been a fireplace there, which you reuse the fireplace downstairs, but we're going to, yeah.
Okay. Bathroom.
The bathroom's quite small. We did contemplate knocking out the wall, knocking out the chimney. For what we're going to gain, it wasn't felt it was worth it. We will configure the bathroom. It was just a shower disabled bathroom here.
Yeah.
And yes, so it'll be plastered. New small bathroom suite. It will look nice and compact when it's finished.
Okay.
And then we have another bedroom. If we have a quick glance in there.
So another freshly plastered. Really nice.
I'm standing where the old chimney was. It was below us in the kitchen. Chimney went in there, so of course we've just squared off the room. And if you ever wander in the biggest bedroom, you may see some workers there. And so any questions on this, please feel free to ask.
Okay.
Try and fill them in.
Go back and make cards. What do you say? Everyone. That's right, we're just showing what your handwork's all about.
Don't zoom in. Right, there's no fun for it.
People, original skirtings, nice deep skirtings. Lovely sunny.
Okay.
Last video
Oh,
there.
stop that one.
So what attracted you to that last property then, Mark?
Sorry, what did I have to do?
What attracted it to you? Because it doesn't. It seems like it's. I don't know if I want to say simple refurb, but no challenges there.
Okay, I mean the funny thing was, you know, and I have got some photographs. I think I may have posted on either HBed or my own personal Facebook post page. When you first look at that, it does look really dated. No central heating, the kitchen's rubbish, the bathroom's rubbish, paper falling off damp. But when you look at the positives, the double glazing's good. It's been rewired 2 years ago. If you look at the saving of the rewiring, the roof was refurbished and a lot of it redone in the last 5 years. So when you look at some of the big money savings that I don't have to do there, I mean, I'll give you some figures on that one. We purchased for 186. Most of the builders, the other 5 or 6 people that were bidding for it, were all around the 185 mark. My 186 mark was fine, and I'm going to be a bit cautious here about the tax sort of scenario side. So I'm doing it with a friend, a family friend, and we're looking at tax saving, what our benefits are of buying it in his name, etc. So, and also then, so our purchase was about 186. Our budget to build, to do the work in there, was about 25k plus 5k with all the legals and sales fees. So we're looking at around the 215-ish mark total expenditure. My sale price is 250k, give or take 10k. I'm fairly confident it will sell for over 250. I'm always conservative when we price up something to sell, and I tend to always achieve above my conservative value. But market's changing. Don't just think it's easy. 25 years experience. Be prepared to hold that long term, and if you can't sell it for your 215, or if you want to make a profit.
So you're basically the changes that you're making on this property, you're making those decisions based on your 25 years of experience. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah. 25 years experience. Also, I'm a Pompey boy, born and bred, so I know the area. I know I'm just north of Stubbington Avenue. Anyone who knows Portsmouth knows houses to the north of Stubbington Avenue are 10k more than the ones in south. And if you remember, we went in Kensington Road, my mum and dad's, that is just on the south of Stubbington Avenue. This is on the north, and yeah, this is why this is going to be a little bit more expensive to the one. There's my parents, although my parents have got the garage there. So yeah, your area, location, knowledge of your area is key.
So somebody who's starting out, who hasn't necessarily got that years of experience, then where are they going to get that knowledge from? Where do they go to get the advice to how they refurbish that property? How are they going to add the value?
Okay, there's a lot there. You've got quite a few questions there, Sam, all rolled into one. So first of all, I will always say, and I'm fairly confident on this, 70 to 80% of property people will be happy to share. The 20% that don't want to share, fine, don't listen to them, because they may mislead you anyway. If they've got the deal over the line, then they should be willing to share and help people up. We talk about networking. We're on a networking meeting now. There are physical networkings coming back in September. You just need to ask the question to gain the knowledge. So there's the knowledge of location. There's the knowledge of what work's going to add value. We're not doing much work in this site. You know, it is just an upgrade, really. It's a refurbishment. We're not adding extra bathrooms galore. So this is fairly basic. We're not splitting titles. We're not splitting, moving staircases. There's not really a lot of structural work here. So this is fairly standard. Now, that video, if people watch that video, they should say, I think like you, Sam, they could say, well, that's easy. If I can do it, and I'll always go council boy, why can't they do it? But I will put the red flag up. It's not, there might be some unknown factors in there. All right.
Brilliant. Let's go on to the last video we've got here then.
Yeah.
And, this is the garden plot.
Yeah.
We are at Cosham House, my own property up on the Havant Road in Cosham. Just want to show you the lower garden that we have. I won't say fenced off because it's grade 2 curtilage and listed building.
Sectioned off?
Sectioned off, yeah. We've grown a hedge to separate the top part of the garden from the lower part of the garden. So have a look inside and you'll see what I'm planning here.
Let's have a look then.
What do you want?
So what have we got going on here? I'm just going to pan round a bit so we can see what's going on. We've got this very high hedge here.
Laurel hedge needs management. A skip. I wonder why you got a skip in, Mark, for projects going on that we use.
A massive tree there. Is there a TPO on that tree over there?
There's a TPO on that tree. In this lower part of the garden, there's about 40 trees with TPOs here on.
Oh, okay.
And we've actually, unfortunately, lost some through dead, diseased and dying, where you are allowed DDD, which is unfortunate, but you are allowed to move those DDDs, dead, diseased, dangerous and dying, but there's only 3 Ds. I know I said 4, I get confused which one is not the correct D. Dead, diseased, dying and dangerous.
Let's try and get a bit in the shade.
Yes. So that's
Okay,
not
so
there.
this is a very big plot. What are you planning to do with this? You mentioned that the house was, I'm just going to go over here, grade 2 listed.
Yeah.
Let's go over here.
Well, yeah, great. We're aware of TPOs, we're aware of curtilage, we're aware of what the listing is. That's part of, if you ever look at a grade 2 listing, don't be afraid of it. Be prepared to gain the knowledge of what is listed. If it's just the front, if it's the internals, know about curtilage of grade 2. We've got a nice flint wall there, a 6-foot flint wall at the front. Know about TPOs and why they put TPOs on to stop development. Little story here, when we purchased this building, this manor house 15 years ago, the local conservation officer visited me and said, Mark, you will never get planning in the garden. It's just what we will not accept it. That chap retired 5 years. Now he's a consultant, an independent. He visited me about 3 years ago. He's confident now, because he's not with council, external, we will get a gatehouse, permission for a gatehouse built here. But you know I'm busy. I've just showed I'm very busy on projects. This is one of those busman's holidays where we'll do it soon. But yeah, so if we just go through the garden now.
Okay. So this is a project, it's a bit of a long game.
Yeah.
But if you start the project, then by the time you're ready to do it, you've built in all that time that you needed to grow the hedge.
Grow the hedge.
See what the planning changes.
See what rules planning change. And also knowing that there's a free, you're meant to start a development within 3 years of getting permission. Obviously, seal also needs to be paid once you get planning, once you start the project. So I just need to be aware of a seal. I need to be, am I happy to put planning in? Be confident of getting yes, but actually, am I prepared to know I'm then committed to start it within 3 years? And that's my dilemma at the moment.
Okay, I'm just going to pan to the house.
Yes. It does leave an adequate garden remaining for the size of property that we've left. So we're confident of still getting a small gatehouse on the front there, and it shouldn't interrupt us here.
And the hedge is high enough that you're not going to see it. You're not going to see what's going on in that garden.
There's an undulating lawn there that is lower than the main house. And if we keep that single story, possibly with some dormers, again, it's just having that in your pocket ready to go. I can do that when I want to. Today, we've visited 4 of my sites, this being number 4. We've tried to say hello to Kira that we unfortunately missed. I have other projects going on at Leigh Park. We have other projects going on in Gosport at McDonald's. There's a challenge and a half. So I'm busy doing property all day long, most days, but it is a passion. It's not for financial reward. Financial reward is definitely a benefit, but it's not my main driver. The second property we saw today is for my parents. So there is the why there, and you need to, so I am rewarding parents and assisting my parents as part of my reward and basically not handing back. What's the term, Sam?
Giving back?
Giving back, yeah. So yeah, hopefully any questions you've got, whether it's grade 2 listed, development, flipping, title split, TPOs, curtilage, they're all there. I'm 25 years into the property game now. I've got a wealth of knowledge. I'm happy to help. Can I just mention to the property angels, HPN is restarting next September. So 4 weeks today, it's Wednesday today. We're filming this today early. So we are returning to HPN. I'd like to see as many as you can make it to HPN on the 2nd Wednesday of September.
Okay.
Thanks,
you. Mark.
Excellent. Thank you, Mark. Just on that note with HPN, Hampshire Property Network, which is restarting on the 9th of September. We've got a Facebook page for HPN, haven't we, Mark? So people can go there and find out about then it's going to be helping white.
You definitely can, and probably you'll put this video up if you're managing to record it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll share it there. Yeah. So
Questions?
just on HPN, it's Solent Hotel Whiteley, 9th of September, 7 o'clock. And all the details on the Facebook page, or people can message you, they can message me if they want to do that. Yeah?
Yeah.
I wanted to just, we were talking yesterday in the car about the time that you've been doing property, 25 years. And I asked you about where you were 5 years in and how your business had grown then. And those first 5 years compared to the next 20, it was, this might sound a bit rude, but the growth wasn't that massive. I think you were working full time, you had a challenging job, and in 5 years you'd accumulated 5 properties.
That's right, yeah.
Which to some people might think is a little bit slow growth compared to what you have now, where you say you've got 100 units in 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah, so what was the difference there then? Why only 5? Was it because you were in full-time work and that was
okay?
Let
me. So yeah, full-time work. So the first one, I mean, people talk about my wife. I'm a council boy, left school at 15, no qualifications. I've probably gained a few since, but I was working for social services as a senior person within working with adults with disabilities. I'd done that 15 years. I started doing property 5 years before I left that. So my first property was for my children. My children now are 31 and 32. So they were 7 and 9 at the time, or thereabouts. So I bought a property, raised funds on my own, 40,000 in New Road, where we started these videos, which is a bit weird. So number 13 New Road, paid £40,000 for that, done it up. And then I realised I've got 2 children, I've got 1 house. They fight anyway at 6, not 7 and 9, whatever the age they were. Why don't I raise funds on that one, buy another one the next year? And then I had 2 houses for my kids. So my why I was doing it to begin with were for my children. And then a year goes past. You know what? My 3rd year, the penny then dropped. I'm going to work till I'm 65 for social services. Why don't I buy the 3rd one for my pension? So once you got 3, it was easy to do 4, it was easy to do 5. So 5 in 5 years was a great achievement for me while still working full time. I got ill actually, and I was going to ask the ladies, perhaps one of these questions, when you interview people, you could say to people, what are the 3 things people don't know about you? Like the criminal record and all that, you know. I haven't got one, not yet. Still, it's on my to-do list. But I do suffer with a chronic illness, ulcerative colitis, and I've had that now over 20 years. Sorry, it's gobsmacking. It's controlled by I'm not suffering, and I only have a flare every few years. It's good medication, good diet, if I want to call it a good diet. But it's actually mental attitude, and when you realise you're in control of your life and how you feel and what you do and what you complain about, what you worry about, you're actually you come to a new level. So I was fairly ill 20 odd years ago. I gave up social services, and in that year, part of what made me ill, I actually purchased 20 properties. So when I had 5 or 6, I then purchased 20 residential properties in 1 year. So I left social services. I can do this. No money down deals. And I worked all the hours. And we talked about regrets yesterday, Sam. And I have regrets. I worked so hard during my children growing up. I don't want to well up now, actually. So bear with me. So you have to look at, you know, and now the children were benefiting the rewards of my grafting all those years ago. But you have to get that work-life balance. I've got it now. I don't think I had it after the first 5 or 6 years of me doing property, giving up social services, and then going full-blown into property. I'm not regretting it, but I have some regrets.
Okay.
All right.
Do they value it now?
I'm sure they do. And they know I'm a bit of a workaholic. And the old saying, if you enjoy it and love it, is it work? So, and I was going to joke to you all, because Sarah's in her car. Karen, are you at home? Sam, are you at home? And I thought Sarah was going to be, I was going to only be the one that's at work in the office, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, commitment's there. I do enjoy it. The children, the family know that I've grafted, and they benefit, and they're appreciative. Key. Yeah.
What do you see happening? What are you planning for the next sort of couple of years? I know the current climate's a bit uncertain and unknown, but are you just going to carry on doing what you're doing? Have you got any specific things? I'd really like to do that sort of property model.
Yeah, we mentioned travel. I have a few challenges at work currently. So I'm not sure. I am looking at the business, how it's running, to systemize, to automate, to look at new challenges. So I'm not really sure, really. Because I enjoy it, why should I change it? But also, I do need to know, we talk about exit strategy. What is the point of owning 100 properties or 120, 130? If I keep the developments we've got going on, and I've got some with 14 flats in Gosport, 20 and 30 flats in Leigh Park, if I keep those, I think I'm going to be building up the monster again. And I think I need to look at the exit strategy over the next 5 years. And the challenge then from a successful business person, if you end up with 1 million, 2 million, 3 million pound in the bank and it's not earning you, you want to then go and do something with it. So you have that challenge. And I think I need to go and form a property addictive club where we do other things really. And we learn to, I don't know, not just give back, but actually do something different. And we have talked, what's the term when you know, my wife's talking about charity and donating. What's the term when you legacy, you know? Oh, that's a dodgy word in property forums, isn't it? Legacy. Sorry. So, you know, you have to think of what you're leaving behind and how you're helping people really. And there are so many groups that could need assistance, you know.
Yeah, and that's very much the values of HBN, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Help others. Do not. It's a no sales. Obviously, you'll know sales. I mean, that's why I know we've talked about doing am I allowed to say a pit before? With you angels, it's different. We've got no hidden agenda. WYSIWYG, we are what you see. WYSIWYG. Well, come on, what's WYSIWYG? What you see is what you get.
Oh right, okay.
Honest, up there, up front, no bullshit, no lying. Who wants to buy my phone? So it's being honest, really. Listen, time's running on. Can I talk about top tips?
10 tips, yeah.
So I've scribbled a few. Oh, so I'll start with that one. Not everyone that smiles at you is your friend. Be aware, greed, envy, jealousy. Sorry. From the day, life is a numbers game from the day you are born. Get to know your numbers. We talk about yields. We talk about net returns, return of investment. Understand that. So property is definitely a numbers game. Be grateful. Be grateful. There is always someone worse off than you, and often they're happier than you. Oh, mindset. Come on. What makes a successful person and someone that's not successful? What is the difference? And I think it's how they think. Do they think differently? Can I do that? Can I do that? We talked, Sam, about a project that I'd done that 2 other people said if they knew what I was going to do, they'd have done it. And they'd have, you know, but I was thinking differently. And we talked about Kira's garden then, about a communal garden, because it's such a big size. You have to go, if we can't split into 3, what other options are there? Another one for me, read good books. Now, me being a lowly, uneducated, rough council board, all right people, there are suitable books for suitable people. I read Richard Branson's Losing My Virginity about 22, 23 years ago. And you know what? How to analyse a deal. What's the worst case? What's the best case? Oh, worst case, I'm gonna only make 5 grand. Best case, I'm gonna make 50 grand. I think I'll do that deal. So read books, educate yourself, motivate yourself. Some of those books should be motivational as well. I have put get a mentor. Does any of you do mentoring? Karen?
Yes, sometimes I do. I haven't done so much recently, but mine's more on the business side. But people don't like business because they don't think it's sexy. They like all the shiny penny business models, and they jump straight in there without understanding where they're heading.
Crazy. There are some good mentors out there, and some people need a good mentor. Be careful though of the old, not everyone that smiles at you is your friend.
Yeah.
Couple more, reward yourself. bar of chocolate. Or, you know, it doesn't matter. You need to, if you work hard, if you've worked hard for 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, we talk about travel in a minute. You need to go, I deserve this. I've worked hard. So why not reward yourself? Otherwise, you'll be just slogging away on the treadmill, and you need to go, I deserve this. So it might be a pub meal out. It might be going up to London for the weekend. Or even going to Brighton last weekend. Who knows? That was busy in Brighton. Can I do this one, ladies? Bear with me. Always see the funny side. Sure. The last one then is, there are a lot of places to visit above the ground before you're 6 feet under the ground. So life is short. Get out there and enjoy it. Work hard, play hard, but actually life's about, you know, I mean, I can't believe how old I am. I act 18, 16 sometimes. I'm 50 effing 6. Woo! So yeah, so grab it. You only get one life, but you get every day of that living. So you've got to live life. I'm going to shut up now.
It seems like positive mental attitude is the key throughout all of that.
Is that PMT? Positive mental?
PMA?
Oh no, sorry, PMA. I'm messy.
I think that's important, and I've always seen that in you, Mark.
Yeah, mindset is everything, because it controls your body, it controls your thoughts. You just need to, and helping people. What gives you your motivation? If it's taking people's money, ripping people off. If you get benefit of seeing other people benefit from your advice, brilliant. I'm gobsmacked at that. I've got something else written down here. I've been called knowledgeable, motivational, entrepreneurial before, and that gives me a buzz. But somebody wrote me an email and tell me how inspirational I was. And I went, and this guy doesn't even like me. Can I say that? You know? And he wrote to me and said, Mark, that was inspirational. The information you gave me, free of charge. I was chatting in this office. And so you need to know what gives you the buzz, what is your own uplift, if you like. So I do enjoy helping people. I do have restricted time. I do have my downtime. I do have my travel time. I do love traveling. But yeah. Is that good?
Mark. Yeah. Karen, Sarah, have you got any other questions for Mark?
I just want to say it's been brilliant. The videos were fabulous, and hopefully people listening in can see this is really the coal-faced practitioners at work. It's what it's about. You know, it's a phrase we've grabbed off a good friend of ours, Fiona Talbot, because there are too many people out there who just talk the talk, but they don't walk that talk. And it's about learning from those who are actually doing. You know, what you've shown is the reality of property.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah, good.
Sarah?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. We've all learned loads from that, and although we haven't had much time to question you, we've learned tons. Just one quick thing, because we're running out of time. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given, and can you share that with everyone?
Oh, I didn't expect that curveball. Be honest and true to yourself. It's very important that you sleep well at night. If you're, and I don't want to keep using the word ripping someone off, you know, you have to have your own moral values, live by them, stand by them. So I always joke when I'm showing shops or tenant shop commercial premises that if 90% of the tenants say I'm really good and I'm a nice guy, if 10% say I don't, they're the 10%. They're probably in arrears that we're chasing for arrears. So I believe, good values. I aim high. I sleep well at night. The debt of my current debt is £8.5 million. How do you sleep well at night with that? So yeah, I'm okay. So be true to yourself ultimately.
Yeah.
I think integrity, isn't it? Is
yeah.
the key word there, and it's something we all share.
Yeah. Just tell me though, Sarah, have you got the aircon on? Because if you're sitting in there without aircon.
I'm absolutely boiling, actually, because I didn't put the keys in the ignition. It's not my car, because my car is not for camera.
Should we call who should we call? Childline, RSPCA, anybody? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I tell you, being heavily pregnant in a heat wave is not amazing.
Thank you for inviting me along. I do a few. I'm limited on time, but HBN is about sharing. You guys, you know, so if they want to post any questions on here, I'll always come back and answer them. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark.
Can I go?
Appreciate it.
Keep in touch. Speak soon. All right. Bye.
Thank you, Mark.
Bye-bye.
Bye.